Good morning, men. Guests, pardon my better side, as they say for this, okay? Sorry I can't turn around and look at both, but this is certainly a very distinct honor and a personal privilege for me to be talking briefly about Mr. Stewart this morning in regards to his being named as the recipient of the 2011 Father Kelley Award. Mr. Stewart grew up in Northeast Baltimore in the Hamilton section of the city, and he attended St. Dominic's Catholic Elementary School. In the fall of 1956, he entered Loyola and became very active very early on here at school, especially in athletics. He played basketball, football, and lacrosse. After he graduated in 1960, Mr. Stewart went on to the then Loyola College, where he also excelled in lacrosse. As a matter of fact, he earned All-American honors there. After graduating from Loyola College in 1964, he served our country in the U.S. Army, and he did a 2-year stint, a little over 2 years actually, and part of that time was spent in South Korea. He returned to Loyola in the fall of 1967, and he's been here for 44 years. As a mathematics teacher, a coach of football, basketball, and lacrosse, and most especially as Dean of Students, his dedication and commitment to our school and to our students is really the stuff that legends are made of. How many individuals have been able to have and receive such excellent formation in having a personal conversation with Johnny Law? Raise of hands in here. How many of you have had that privilege? Come on, be honest. There we go. I'm turning around here, man. Okay. Father Hans Kalvenbach was the head of the Jesuits worldwide a few years ago. And in an article about Jesuit education, he said that the chief responsibility for not only academic development, but moral formation at a Jesuit school doesn't rest with any particular pedagogy or way of teaching or extracurricular activity, but it rests on the individual teacher under God. And within a Jesuit school, Father went on to say the unique force of our type of education would be lost if Jesuit schools did not maintain significant face-to-face encounters between very good role models and good young men. St. Ignatius himself seemed to place and emphasize personal example of the teacher ahead of rhetoric or learning as the chief way for moral development in our schools. He said that the young men at a Jesuit school, more than anything else, would be influenced, either for the good or the ill, by the example of what the teacher is. Men, I think for many people associated with Loyola over the last 40 years, there is no one who better represents that example of someone who really does focus on the moral development of our dimes than Mr. John Stewart. His own personal example of always trying to do the right thing, of taking responsibility for his actions, and for always trying to do his best, has been instrumental in the formation of just scores and scores of dimes. I'm sure Father Kalvenbach would consider Mr. Stewart to be a prime example of the teacher at a Jesuit school. My guess is St. Ignatius might agree as well. Mr. Stewart asked me not to give too much fluff, so I'm almost done. Okay? One of the characteristics of our school, men, you know this, I'm sure many of you behind me realize this as well, is captured in that Latin phrase, cura personalis, the care and concern of the entire individual. Okay? I would dare say that Mr. Stewart embodies that trait. He has for 44 years, and God willing, he will for a number of more years. Right? It's my privilege to introduce to you Mr. John Stewart.